In this video, we will demonstrate installation of anechoic batting into our subwoofer cabinet. We will use a total of 5 sheets of anechoic batting for the subwoofer and full-range speaker cabinets together. We've worked out how to do this most efficiently with minimal waste. Here's a diagram of how to cut up the anechoic batting for the interior of the subwoofer cabinet. The sub will take a total of 2.5 sheets. Cuts are to be made along all the red lines. Note the measurements for cut placement and length. Several of the cuts, those that only go part way into a sheet, are simply there to accommodate the cabinet's interior structural baffles. Note that the following pieces of video were taken before I had created this diagram, so my references to making measurements are a little rougher in the video than they will be for you. References to the order of installation are still correct. Sides first, ceiling and floor next, and finally the inside back wall. We're starting with the subwoofer cabinet on its side, and we are going to put the batting in on the sides first. And after we put the batting in, the batting is about 1 inch thick, and it will change the dimensions of the batting that we need for the other dimensions. And the batting comes in 24-inch wide segments, so this is the way to do it that will incur the least loss and most efficient use of material. So the sides, you probably want to measure as you're doing it. It's a good idea to do that anyway. The sides, the interior dimensions are 24 inches by 26.5 inches with slits cut in it for these supports. So let's take some measurements and cut them out. Okay, we've measured a section of the batting, 26.5 inches, and it's 24 inches wide. And then to mark it off, you could use a chalk line. I just used a piece of wire and made a mark at the right place so I know where to cut. We've got some Cutco scissors, or probably regular scissors will work fine. And then 12.5 inches down from one of the ends, make a slit that will correspond to one of these braces in the middle, and it's 11 inches long. Again, you'll probably want to measure as you're cutting, doing it yourself, just to make sure, because if you end up doing something in a different order than we do, then you could be off by up to 1 inch because of the thickness of the batting, which really doesn't matter all that much. You can kind of mush it down together if you need to, but if you want to keep it clean, start with the sides. All right, we've applied spray adhesive to the inside. In case we haven't said this yet, it's 3M Super 77. Apply an even coat all throughout the bottom. I put a piece of paper underneath the window in the bottom so I'm not spraying whatever's beneath it. And we're just going to take this and fit it in there the right way. And I don't want to spend a lot of time with my head inside there because it doesn't smell nice. And the batting does kind of crush, so don't push it down like that, but push it down with even force. We've turned it over to the other side. I've cut out an identical piece of batting and I'm going to apply adhesive on the inside. Don't use the same thing on the outside under the little window to cover it if it still has wet adhesive on it, so that you don't get sticky stuff on the outside of your cabinet. And then you can be generous with the adhesive. I'm going to sort of hold my breath before I go in here. And sometimes the nozzles clog. We've got another one handy so we don't have to unclog this on the fly. And that's about all you need. FYI, for the handles, you do not have to cut out the batting underneath. You can just put them on top and screw them in. It may make this puff out a little tiny bit, but it's still covered and you don't have to do anything special about it. With the leftover from the sheets that we started with, we've now done each side. Oh, we can do the top, so turn it so that the large port is up on the top. And the space for these is 24 inches by, we right now with the batting on the sides have about 11.5 inches. If you take one of the existing leftover pieces and cut it in half, you're gonna have some leftover space on the side that's not covered. That shouldn't be a big deal if you really want to do it. If you want it to go all the way to the edge, you will have to cut one piece from each of the sheets that you just used to go on one side and then another one to go on the other side. We've now turned the enclosure right side up, and the side that we have left to cover, if you can see at the back, that's where the port opens up onto the inside of the enclosure, and so we only want our batting to go as far as that edge. So from that edge to here is, I believe it is 19, it was 19.5 for us, and then 24 inches instead of 26 inches wide because there's batting on both sides. The dimensions of the back of the cabinet end up being almost exactly 24 by 24 with the batting applied on all of the top, bottom, left, and right. So all you need to do is make notches. Mine were measured to be 8 inches deep on the left, or 7 inches deep on the left and on the right, 2 inches deep on the top, and then I think 11.5 inches from the top on the left and right is where we made those cuts. So just took a square piece and cut a slot on the left and the right, and you don't really need to worry about the width. As we've seen, you just kind of cram it in there. The stuff is pretty soft, so we're gonna glue that down there. Don't worry about exact alignment. The main thing is we've got on all of the large surfaces stuff that's going to absorb high frequencies and prevent standing waves of the, mid and upper middle frequencies. So it doesn't have to be tidy. You can have little gaps, and that's okay.